Hello everyone, my name is Jorge Duarte and I will present the thesis Planning and Scheduling. The thesis will have as its theme, the new challenges of the telecommunications infrastructures of the future. In 2005, there was a major revolution in telecommunications infrastructures in Portugal, with the introduction of the technical standard manual ITID, Infrastructures for Telecommunications in Buildings, currently in its fourth edition, creating the infrastructures in buildings for the reception of any telecommunications service. Telecommunications regardless of the technology used. The installation of NGN networks in rural areas has not been forgotten, being a key factor in the development of telecommunications and the economy in the long term. Over the last 15 years, Portugal has always led the ranking of countries with the highest fiber optic network coverage rate, and especially in FTTH architecture. In 2010, the ITA manual, Telecommunications Infrastructures in Allotments, Urbanizations and Sets of Buildings, was published. Thus, there is now a regulated in the sharing of telecommunications infrastructures, ducts, poles and cabling, regardless of the technology used. Since 2010, with the first digital agenda for Europe 2010 to 2020, with the goal of ensuring broadband networks by 2020 for all, with rates above 30 Mbps, and 50% of European homes with rates above 100 Mbps. This way, in Portugal we can have three levels of infrastructures, ITID, ITA and the public telecommunications network. With the introduction of the ITID manual in Portugal, a new device called ATI, Individual Telecommunications Cabinet, appeared, with the purpose of having star topology for the D-end technologies, copper pairs, coaxial and fiber optic, besides also having an exclusive free space for the installation of active equipment. After 18 years of its implementation, several problems have been identified among the following areas: legislation and technical regulations, building legislation, supervision of ITID and ITA installations, lack of monitoring of the installation after its completion, absence of active components in its construction, communication between the D-end agents of the process, designer, installer, owner of the work, regulator, operators and municipalities. The main goal of this study is to identify and quantify the main gaps detected both at regulatory level and as possible and potentialities to be incorporated into the ITID infrastructure, thus enabling the largest number of services to be integrated into the network. The main objectives defined will be the main research activities to be developed in my work. It consists of four main tasks, two in the regulatory context and the other two in the area of integration of smart devices with IoT and machine learning. At the regulatory level, we will have a statistical study to identify the main failures between the different agents, culminating in the development of a centralized software for all entities involved in telecommunications and licensing infrastructures to facilitate access by all agents. In terms of IoT integration at ATI, it involves the development of a sensory module with storage of sensor data, and detection of imminent failures, using predictive learning algorithms. On the other hand, the proposal to create a new layer in the ITID infrastructure, with the inclusion of a Wi-Fi network in the building. In the graphical abstract, on the left side we have a representation of the different types of infrastructure in Portugal, ITID, ITA, public network. In the regulation part, it indicates a representation of the different sources of information for carrying out the proposed research activities. In the IoT integration in ATI part, the current minimum requirements for this type of equipment are identified, and then the set of proposals for increasing functionality in this type of devices is presented. The first research activity has the main objective of identifying and quantifying the main failures and gaps in the context of ITID. The source of information under analysis is of different types: statistics, legislation and interviews. After the conclusions of this study, a comparative analysis will be made of the type of telecommunications infrastructure in each country. The information provided by the different stakeholders, construction owner, designer, installer, local authority, operators and regulators, is not centralized on a single online platform. In this sense, the intention is to create this platform, so that the different actors in the process can record information during the work, allowing the information to be always available and always under the supervision of the regulator, in this case ANACOM. This platform would simplify the consultation process, instead of having to resort to municipalities. ANACOM and the construction sector regulator, IMPIC. The concept of intelligent buildings is a reality with an exponential growth of devices in any network. For this reason, the need arose to equip ATIs that only have passive components, to develop an intelligent module to monitor the state of each ATI as well as to determine imminent failures, through predictive algorithms and using machine learning. Currently, ITID networks do not have a Wi-Fi layer or mandatory active equipment. This solution presents a set of minimum requirements to be implemented and the use of a Wi-Fi signal propagation simulator to optimize the infrastructure signal. In this sense, a new layer in the telecommunications infrastructure is intended, with the dimensioning of a Wi-Fi network, from the design phase to its implementation, based on the EE 800 2.11 ACT standard, in order to guarantee 10 Gbps rates throughout the building. The curricular plan consists of 6 curricular units. In the first group we have the CUs already completed. In the second group we have the remaining CUs not yet completed but in development. The optional CUs were selected according to the work areas of this study. The bibliographical references presented here are only the starting point for the development of the work. Thank you.